Hey, continuing our Jet City comic show coverage, I'm sitting here with one Mr. Brian Churilla. Brian, how you doing?
I am good.
Yes.
Kind of. Yes.
Kind of.
I'm good.
Pensive?
Pensive?
Feeling it?
Do I have to do this when I'm pensive?
You practiced that, I can tell.
Yeah.
I was doing this interview style, which is terrible. I love that I start out this way. You're in for a treat.
Yeah,
which
great.
I was trying to call Truth or Wikipedia, where we print out everyone's Wikipedia page.
I don't think I have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, it might be in the notes at home because I'm not that complete. Or you'd be
No,
surprised.
I mean every time it goes up, I find it and go, delete, delete.
So, absent Truth or Wikipedia, how are things going for you?
I can't complain. I'm working. I have a place to live. I have a family.
These are all.
I don't particularly have a right to complain about Jack. So, no, things are good. I'm working. I'm finishing up duties on the 4-issue miniseries for Marvel. That's a revamp of the Infinity Gauntlet called The Avengers and the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
A title which rolls off the tongue, I know.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It tells you what you're getting right into, though, which is great.
Yeah.
There's no confusion.
No.
No.
It's the Infinity Gauntlet plus the Avengers.
Excellent. And
Well, this weird amalgam of Avengers. So.
okay. Let's talk a moment about the differences, I think, between independent comics and majors, because I know you're doing a lot of work for major stuff now. You have
Right.
a very strong run in the independent world.
Right. There's money in one of them, and I'll let you guess which one.
Huh. Other than the obvious difference of money, what about the creative process or the development process for you? Like when it's indie, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You there's a lot more room to play around, and a lot more freedom. It's a definite trade-off. You give up those freedoms in order to keep the lights on in the house, or But I mean, I'm doing this this commercial stuff, but in the back, I'm always have other stuff that I'm working on. I'm working on some new stuff with Phil Hester. That we did the anchor, and
Right.
now we're doing something else, and trying to find a home for that. And because my heart will always be with indie books, because it's just more rewarding, and I don't know, it's just more fun. But I'm not to say that. I mean, I'm still drawing comics for right now for Marvel, and it's still fun. Drawing Doctor Doom and Thanos fighting each other is, that's always fun.
I mean, and that's got to be sort of like a dream come true, because did you ever think, did little Brian think someday when he grew up, all that drawing he would do would actually be like, oh, I'm getting paid now to make this happen?
Right. I don't think little Brian knew what the hell he was doing at all with the. That thinking back, like thinking of any sort of career or comics, or I don't know. It's really I didn't even actually make an attempt to have a career in comics until I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. So I mean, before that, I was just freelancing, and until I was like, I should really just focus on comics because that's the most fun. Drawing monsters and superheroes, and it's always good. So.
What do you count as your earliest comic book memory?
If anybody knows what comic book this is, I would love to know. But I believe it was. Well, I know it was a Spider-Man comic, and I bought it at a convenience store, and I would say roughly like 1985. And on the cover, now this could be just like a fever dream, or I don't know, but on the cover it had Spider-Man in the foreground, like on his back, and then a guy with a mohawk and an axe standing over him, and then a shelf behind him with jars with severed heads inside, and the tagline was "Scared to Suicide," and it was a Spider-Man comic. if anybody knows, maybe I totally made this up, but this I believe is my first, my first introduction to comics, and it was amazing, and my mom was appalled when she saw that, but I could be making that up. But if anybody knows what that is, I would love to know, because I want to find that book. This is the first comic book I believe I have ever purchased, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm making it all up. That seems pretty hardcore for a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah, that seems really hardcore. I mean, it could happen. They got a little nutty back then.
Yeah.
Did your mom let you keep it?
I don't know. I think so. I think she was pretty cool about that, but she would, she'd voice her disdain, but then, let me get away with it. But yeah, until I started stockpiling heavy metal comics, and she found all those, and those back in the 80s were a lot more burly than they are now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Everything a growing boy needs who doesn't have cable.
Oh yeah. Well, we had cable. We had the squiggly blocked Showtime. Yeah.
Kids today don't know how good they have it.
Oh man.
With their unscrambled internets.
Oh man. All that pornography at all the children's fingertips. It's so great.
Staying away from that, I think, for the moment. So there's been The Anchor, which has gotten really great reviews and done really well.
I don't know if it did really well. I mean, there is no more Anchor. It ended. And there's a new project coming up with Phil, you said. Yeah.
And then we know the work with the Adventures coming up. Is there anything that you haven't done that you want to? Something that counts as is there a moment where you go, this is the moment where I know I've made it?
Right. That moment would be when I don't have to keep looking for work. When it actually keeps finding me consistently for years, then I'll be like, maybe I've made it. But when something ends and you're sweating, going I'm thinking, God, am I gonna have to go back to? I used to do first call for a funeral service, and it was basically working 12-hour shift at night, picking up corpses, delivering corpses. I was like, am I going to have to go do that again? Which is always fun with all the bodily fluids and decomposed remains.
Wow.
But, which wasn't, I like that job, but I kind of...
You don't think there's a comic in there at all to be had?
I was working on something, but then, like a lot of things, it just kind of falls by the wayside.
Not only a comic, I think there's a TV show in that. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Hey, let me tell you what else. You know what else you should be doing?
Yeah.
You want to make it in this business? Listen to the guy who's on a podcast. I'll tell you how to make.
All right. Yeah, but I've been asked that before. Wow, do you really feel like you made it? Or I'm like, when I don't have to hustle anymore. But that's just everybody that works in this industry is it's all hustle all the time, no matter who you are. I think. So.
Well, and as the industry changes, how does that relate to you? How do you adapt to that? Or 'cause we're seeing, I think, less print and more digital.
Right. I was just talking to someone about how that's, they're like, where do you see comics going, indie comics? And I told them that it's all going to be, it's all going to be online, and it's all going to be iPhone apps, and which is it's a really good model to have. If you, say you have an iPhone, iPod Touch app that, your comic comes out every week, and say you have 35,000 people that read it a week or whatever, and you have that built-in audience. It's, and then you take it to get. You could take that information to a publisher and go, listen, we have 35,000, 50,000 people a week reading this. We have a built-in way to tell people about the book coming out.
Right.
So it's it seems like a no-brainer that's where things are going to go. And I don't know, and generations is, the younger people, they're going to be so used to not having a physical copy of anything, which is really bizarre because there's no resale on that. It's going to be really weird.
But there's also there's not much left of a resale market for comics now, anyways.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I grew up in the age, and I'm sure you did too, where comics were collectibles. Mm-hmm. And then I took a big old long break before I got back into comics, and all of a sudden they're not collectible anymore.
Oh yeah. But I was thinking when I said that, resale on CDs or something. You can still I just sold 20 CDs to pay for a guitar repair, and I was like, and it paid for my guitar repair, and I didn't really want to like, you know, write a check to get that done, but it was like, wow, for all these, you know, albums that I bought online or downloaded, you know, it's like you can't take that into a store and sell it, you know, it's really weird, you know, there's no physical copy.
So you play guitar?
Yep.
Are you in a band?
No, because I like metal, and that whole scene is really nihilistic and self-destructive, and I played in so many bands for so long that I just kind of burnt out on going to shows and playing some crappy dive on a Wednesday night and nobody shows up, and you know, you get like a pint glass thrown at you, and you know,
yeah, you gotta really want that lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just like any kind of creative endeavor, I guess.
Sure. So, going back to the comics, I guess again, what's next after Avengers? Do we know? Can you tell us anything? I feel like there's some tricks up the sleeve you're holding on to a little.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have. I mean, just like always, like half a dozen irons in the fire, and you kind of have to, you know, just to ensure that you're working. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm kind of nervous right now, but I hope I can keep paying the mortgage. But we'll see.
Judging by the quality of your work, I have no doubt that will be true.
I don't know. There's a lot of great artists that can't find work right now. So.
But they're not you.
That's true.
We like you.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
With that said, if people want to get a hold of you, contact you, find your work on the interwebs or out there?
My website is Brian Churilla, Brian with an I, and Churilla, CHURILLA.com. So, yeah, I'm there. Easy to find. My horrible last name, if you can spell it.
Thank you so much. Brian Churilla, everyone. Pete with the Backroom Comics Podcast. Stick around for more.